Hey, it's Heather here. For anybody that's a first time viewer, I just get on here and kind of vlog and talk about things. I've been doing this for like 2 months. Originally when I started, it was just like me sitting around ranting, and I even saved it up under a uh, folder or whatever, if you will. Rants and bitch fits for the most part, or at least I did like the first 45 videos that I did. um, it was just me talking about my life and stuff that I'm going through and everything, and wanting to take people along on that journey with me and be able to show them kind of, that they're not the only ones that struggle, that have hardships and stuff like that. Um, Apparently, in doing this, and putting YouTube videos out, apparently to the mass majority, that means that you are trying to, I guess, become a leader in a way, and that you have that ability to be able to do that if you can conquer the fear of doing this and everything, which, I mean, I originally started not even caring and not even having any fear, because fear is what, is like, fear is what dictates our life for the most part. And while that is good to a degree, it's also bad to a degree. And it keeps us from enjoying things that we are supposed to, and things that, experiences and just all kinds of things that we're meant to have. And I don't mean that in a way that what I say is something that you have to listen to. You don't ever have to listen to me. You don't ever have to take my opinions into account. You don't ever have to watch my videos. You can have the freedom to click off, and not watch them and disagree with me. And that is perfectly fine. And as a matter of fact, I had someone write a relatively rude, for as far as I was concerned, comment yesterday. And I pondered for a long time what to do with it. I pondered whether to reply or not, and that's one thing that is going to happen. You have negative and positive and everything. And even though I kind of hated to, because they wrote a lot of information about their views, I thought to myself, like, this is my thinking, this is my brain. I thought, well, why don't you get on your, you know, um, channel or YouTube or some form of an outlet that you feel that you can express yourself in, and why don't you make your own video or your own post or whatever. And so I hope that that person does that, for as far as the information that they were willing to give based upon their views and everything. And that's one thing too that I have even said in my comments, is I do not mind other people's opinions. But when their opinions are directed straightly at me like a very verbal attack, and it comes across as very disrespectful to me, and it hurts my feelings, in all honesty, that is when I feel that you have crossed the line too far. And so that's the reason I removed the comment off of yesterday's video. And it took me a couple hours to even do that, because like I said, they wrote a bunch of information, and a bunch of stuff in scripture, like talking about God and talking about their what they've read on scientifically and all kinds of stuff like that and everything. And it was just like I've stated before in my previous videos, I have no problem talking to people. I have no problem listening. And that is one thing that me being the personality type that I am, I'm an INFP. And I just watched a video, and they're talking about how it's mainly a SJ world, and that makes up around about 50% of the world's population. So these are people that are personalities, they're just not going to get it unless they care to. And they're not ever going to understand how sensitive I am unless they care to. And a bunch of other things dealing with my personality and just my characteristics and who I am, and so on and so forth. But I I was very taken back and very offended. And maybe the person that watched my video, because I don't know them personally, and even if they did have a picture up and a name, I would not, state their name in the video. That's just like the video that I just watched. I'm learning to not state anybody's name in anything that I do and just say, I watched a video. End of subject. I got a comment, from someone, people can figure it out if they want to. I'm not saying to go after, anybody, but I'm saying I'm going to leave it there, And so anyways, back to this, whole situation and everything, I just felt very angered and sad and disrespected and embarrassed, not just for myself, but on both sides, and not in a intellectual way. Una, please don't. But in a feeling way, because I'm a feelings type person. I'm all about feelings. Please lay down, because I don't need you hitting this chair. Thank you, baby. But, it hurt me so bad. And I said I'm not going to get on here, and I'm not going to talk about negative stuff anymore. And I'm going to try my best to not. And I'm going to try to stay as positive as possible, because I want this to be positive, and I want my influence through my YouTube to be positive. I don't want it to be negative. I don't want to be a take back. I don't want to sit here and be hateful or degrading or anything like that. And I've been watching back my videos so that way I could kind of learn. And that's how you educate yourself sometimes. That's how some people educate themselves. And sometimes they educate themselves by watching other people, and learning from their experiences. But it's better in a sense to kind of go out and experience things yourself. That way you gain the knowledge, and that way the knowledge actually sticks with you more. But anyways, and also another thing that this person mentioned was how long, in their opinion, I talked about depression. And the way that it was stated made it come across like somebody that was looking to me to talk about depression, forever, and like they were getting a kick or a high or something out of that. And this is my perception, but just like they enjoyed that more, because, to specifically be like, you talked about depression for 6 minutes, in your video yesterday. That was their perception. And my perception is, you want me to talk about depression? And I've got on here on my previous videos and been like, I'm going to talk about my depression. Well, I have. Go back and watch the other videos. They're still up there, Watch them repetitively if that's where you're at in that state of mind, and that's going to help you, and that's going to make you feel better. Because that is genuinely what I'm trying to do, is make people feel better, not worse. I'm not here to attack people, and that's another thing, too, that the video that I watched talking about how it's a SJ world, and I'm an INFP, is... I'm realizing how attacked y'all feel by me. And it's very disheartening, and it's very just really sickening to my soul to a degree, is the best way that I can think of to word it. And that is not an insult. That is a feeling, and me trying to use the words to describe the feeling that I'm going through. And I am sorry if I come across as offensive or attacking in people's minds, but I guarantee you that is not my intent. My intent is to not attack. My intent is to help, people like me, or even myself, and you can call me selfish for this if you want to find out what the hell to do with life, because there's no sense in anyone sitting around and being depressed forever. That's like criminals and stuff. And I guess I'll go ahead and get into this because it's being kind of put on me a little bit. Criminals, they commit a crime. They go, they serve their time. They get out. Should they always look back on that? Should they always worry about that? Should it haunt them for the rest of their life? Or should they just have learned the experience to not do it again, and then just take that piece of information, that piece of experience, and just move forward with their lives and not do it again? And I get that one of the things that this person also commented in my on my video yesterday is dealing with me liking a girl, and I was sorry, I don't want to cry. But I was pretty much like, this person came across as completely putting the blame on me for the situation that happened. And even though I don't even know how to word it. It's like, imagine somebody telling you that you can lead, being led on. There you go. So, it hurts. If you've ever been led on by somebody or thought to believe, something, and then that belief gets ripped from you when it's game time or whatever, or it's time, then it devastates you. And so that's what happened with that situation. But they attacked that, and they put it into a category with things that I would never even think to put it in a category with. Yet I understand that they can categorize like that. But then if they are going to categorize like that, then I can also be combative if I wanted to and be like, you know what? Anything sin, hateful, mean, whatever, and you were rude to me. And so therefore you are sinning. And therefore a sin is a sin, no matter how big, no matter how small. And I could get on that train if I even wanted to. But I am such a feeling person that I honestly don't even know this person for as far as I believe, because they don't have a distinguishing, page to let me know who they really are. And I don't want to hurt them. And that's another thing too, is I looked up how to respond, and it was like, oh, ignore it, oh, this, oh, trolls, oh, this, just all different various things. I looked up like 5 or 6 different articles on what to do with people that are coming across as very rude, and they also insulted my intelligence, and how to handle it. And it's like, don't give them, any attention. That's all that they're wanting is attention. And then that's the thing, is that they accused me of me wanting attention, dealing with the girl that I was dealing with, and that I took advantage. And then if they watch this video, are they not doing the same thing? Are they not taking advantage if they're getting a high out of me giving them attention? And so it's just this kind of feeding mentality, but with SJs, which I'm assuming this person probably is, or they at least have a S or a J in their personality, and it's 4 letters, that it, goes into breaking it down to. And getting kind of hot because I'm getting in my blood pressure because my nerves. But it's like, I'm kind of a hippie at heart, is the best way to put it. And so I don't want to hurt nobody, and I don't want nobody to hurt me. And unfortunately, with SJs and them being the majority, it's like, who cares who you're hurting as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do? And that is a very difficult thing for me to do, because I do care. And I don't want to cry, so God, please, make me stop. But another thing, too, that, like I said, I watched today, is this person talking about how, we're supposed to make it in this world, and about how the reason why there probably is more, SJs than there are, us or whatever, that it's because y'all are very dilatory is the best way that I can think of to word it. When you see something needs to be done, you get up and do it. You don't question it. You don't worry about the emotions because it's the task that needs to be done. It's the task that's at hand, and you've got to get up and you've got to do it. And there's no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. And it's almost like talking the people. I watched another video, just kind of sidetracked, about them talking about the entitled millennials or whatever. I think that's what the name of their video even was. But it was like, here's this old timer, and he's like, by the time I was your age, I had this and that done, and I had a war that I'd been in and fought and won and this and that, and that they got up and they just did, and us, we're sitting here and we're like, oh, if I had this, then my life would be perfect, or, and it's like that mentality of get up off your ass and work for it. And so I'm having to learn that, and I'm having to decipher and dig through and figure that out, and then still deal with the trauma and the abuse and stuff that I've dealt with in my life and everything. And it's a balancing act, and it's very difficult. I'm not even gonna lie, but it's doable, and that much I do know. And so that's kind of mainly a little bit, about kind of what was going on in my head and everything. Because like I said, I get on here and vlog. I don't have a specific topic that I'm going to talk about. When I sat down yesterday, I wasn't like, I'm going to talk about in today's video, because that's not who I am, because I'm a very feeling type person. And I get that a lot of y'all would rather me, probably, because the SJ and I'm the INFP, and y'all are more of a SJ community, the world is, it's almost 50%, said this guy, and I firmly believe it, because it explains too much of everything that I've been through, and all the pain and the hurt and everything. And so y'all probably would, these people that might watch my video, and might not get me, and that's fine. You don't have to get me. You don't even have to listen to me. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to comment. You don't have to like. If you think that I'm begging for attention, then don't give me attention, because that is not what I'm here for. My purpose, why I'm putting these up, is so if there are people out there that are like me and they need somebody to talk to, not because we want to come together like some type of soldier team that's going to tear the world apart, but just so we don't feel so alone that we're sitting, crying, or, being like, nobody understands it. And the best way that I can put it is like SJs, for instance. You go to work. You get your job done. You not only get your job done, but you get more than your job done, because you are a very dilatory set person. You get it done, it's over, and then it's like, hey, I have more stuff that I could do, but you know what? Let's see, if, and I'm not even sure how y'all would even be in that sense, but y'all would just get y'all shit done is the best way that I can think of to word it. Where me, I'll still get my stuff done, but I do it in a completely different way. And because I do it in a completely different way, it is seen and thrown off on these two people that just get it done. They get it done. They don't have emotions, or they seem emotionless, and they just get the shit done, and it's over. And, like, say both of them were pushing something out of somewhere and they ran over somebody's toe, and this is the two different aspects, or whatever. that I can think of on how to word it. So there's these two people that are pushing something out and they accidentally run over somebody's toe. So they take the time to write the report, the accident incident report or whatever, and they take the time to make sure that the person is off and on their way, whether they're sent home or they have to go to the doctor or whatever. But afterwards, it's not even an afterthought, and it's like, just keep on with your work. Me, I'm the person that, if I was the one to have done it, I would have freaked out and been like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm more worried about the emotion and the feeling than I am anything else. And I would have been like, oh my God, and so worried about them and so worried about, can they pay their medical bills? And stuff like that. And I'm not against people that are like that. I'm not against people that are very dilatory and very cut and everything in their ways of doing things. But I don't understand why y'all have to come across so harsh sometimes in the ways that here I am and I'm this feeling person. Where if it was me that would have ran over their foot, like I said, I would have been worried. And then even if it wasn't me, but I seen it happen. Even if I'm in the area, because I'm a feeling person, if I'm in the area and, Bobby Joe and Susie Q push the thing out and roll over, Sammy's foot, then I'm going to be going and trying to find a way while still doing my job to kind of be like, Sammy, are you okay? Sammy, do you need a ride home? Sammy, can you drive home? Sammy, do you want me to call? Sammy, is there... And it's innately who I am. It's like, and for people to attack that and label it as a character flaw or anything just very negative is very I don't want to, I don't even know how to word it. It's just something I would prefer not, I guess, Like, I'd prefer not to deal with it. But, so anyways, why it is that, and then let's say these other two, what was it I said, Bobby and Susie or whatever, they go in here and they're talking, later on about me. They're like, did you see the way that Heather talked to Sammy? And Heather's still asking questions about Sammy, and Sammy's done went to the doctor and left. Why does Heather even care? Does it affect her life? And that's the thing too, is in my mind, yes, it does. Because I'm an emotional person, and it's like the ripple effect. And yes, it does affect me. And that's just the way that I am, and to be attacked for that, and I'm not attacking these other people and being like, well, why don't they care? Well, why ain't they asking? Well, why? I mean, it's just two different viewpoints. And I'm sorry if you can't listen to my viewpoints and respect them. I don't know what else to say. At least on that topic. And on the topic of just yesterday, for as far as personally. So I'm sitting here and I'm bored and I can't sleep because I used to work thirds. So I've been sleeping from about 5 a.m. to like 12 or 1 or something in the afternoon, which is kind of what I did when I was working. Sometimes I would sleep later until 3 or 5, but usually I'd get up around 1 or 2, and I had the energy to kind of clean and straighten up and do things and play with the dogs, and then I might take a nap, and then I'd go into work. But so I'm still kind of on that schedule, and it's kind of depressing concluding I have an 11 o'clock curfew here. So then I feel trapped like I did when I was a child, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I wish I had somebody to talk to, and everybody, works and everybody has, and it's that SJ mentality, and here I am all in my feelings, And then I was like, okay, and I actually thought about the girl that I liked and how she's introverted. And I thought, what would she do to stay quiet, and stuff like that? Because I'm even having to practice my introvertedness because I wasn't allowed to have it. I wasn't allowed to have it. I mean, I wasn't. In my family, it was like, get your ass up and do shit and do it now. And it was a constant, and it was a constant of me having to talk to them so that way I knew what to do, because I didn't understand in the way that they would describe things. And so I would have to learn to articulate, what do you mean by that, And then when they realized, oh, that's just the way she is and she has to ask a lot of questions, then they asked for my help on even more things, It's like my dad, get up under the trailer, get on top of the roof, do this, climb up under there, here's a hammer, there's the screwdriver, here's a Phillips, what do you need? You need a flathead, you need this, your hands are smaller than mine, I can't get this, or help me untie this, or help me do, and yard work, and get out here and rake the leaves, and put them in a pile, and carry them over there, and just all these dilatory SJ, I guess you'd say, ways that, and everything. And so it was just, constant. And that's another thing, too, is about a SJ. SJ is because y'all can detach in a way that we can't from your feelings. Y'all look at us, for the most part, like we are trying to attack you. And that is very upsetting. And y'all honestly have attacked us. I don't know how many times I've been sitting and crying in my lifetime, and I've had people be like, suck it up, get over it. Suck it up, get over it, don't worry about it, move on, you're fine, And God, why are you whining so much? And you're so whiny, and you're so, this and that. And I'm introverted, and so I would rather, for the most part, even though I'm still considered an ambivert, because, I'm getting on here doing this, and stuff like that, and I'm doing it every day, and it's not exhaustive to me, because but I'm more introverted than I am extroverted, and I was never fully allowed to be that, and accepted for it, is the best way to word it, in any point in time in my life. I'm not even accepted for it now. And I don't mean acceptance and, okay, you accepted that I'm an introvert, so therefore, if I were to worship Satan over here, that means you gotta worship him too. I don't mean acceptance in full, but I mean just a mutual type respect. And that's another thing too, is like the INFP is the mediator, and we know how to articulate things in a way, supposedly, where we can get along with people and stuff like that. And, I don't know. And this person yesterday that wrote that comment, it was a very personal attack. It honestly makes me feel like it's somebody that I do know, and I don't know why you would want to do that to me. And we could talk about it if that's what you'd prefer, but I'm not going to sit here and talk about it publicly. And that's another thing too, is it even dictates that in our personality. I can sit in a room and talk to people all day long, and I don't mean people like a lot, but I can sit down and I can communicate with you as long as you're respectful. But when you get disrespectful, just like the gouges and the rudeness and the digs that was made at me yesterday in the comment that was posted, if you're going to do that and I'm not doing that to you, why would I want to talk to you? Other than I care. And I'm a feeling person. And so I might push myself. But eventually I will get so fed up if you keep on with the rude jabs and the just, like constant digs at who I am. I'll reach a point where I was born of my parents. I survived by my parents. I've survived this long if I didn't know you before then, when I was young, and you didn't do anything to my survival, then why should you, you know, be part of my life? It is a gift to be part of anybody's life. That's the reason the subscribers that I do have, I don't know if there's one in particular that has been very kind and put up a lot of kind-hearted comments, and I have been so appreciative. And I called her out, not her name, but it's a woman. But, I was like, thank you, and I am so appreciative. I'm so appreciative of people that can treat me with the same type of respect. And you don't have to treat me even with love. You don't have to be like, oh, huggies and kissies and whatever and boo-boos and, let me make it better and stuff like. You don't have to be that way with me. In all honesty, I kind of, to a degree, don't want most people to do that to me. Because I have one person that has put a stamp on my life for the standard of that. And I don't mean a standard in a way that nobody else can feel it. And I do believe in human interaction and stuff like that. And, being with a significant other and, all that and everything. And I mean, my kid, like, literally, she hated me for it, or she hates me for it now. I hugged her every day. I've hugged that child every day for 11 years. Or I've tickled her foot, or tugged at her hand, or, tug at her hair just ever so slightly when she's sitting there, just to have her go, hey, and I'd be like, I didn't do it, and play with her like that and stuff. And that's just like my pets and everything, like, I have no problem with that, like physically speaking or whatever and stuff. But it's like, I am so into my feelings that if you are not a feelings type person and you can't even respect that in me, and you are so stricken like with being your SJ personality type, or even if you just have S or J, where I'm the feelings and the intuitive, and everything. Like, I would rather us not because I disrespect you and stuff, but I have my views on things, and I have what I need in certain areas in my life, and I don't need people trying to come and rewrite. So attack. I don't need people trying to come and rewrite things that are done written in my character. And I'm not trying to rewrite anything in anybody else's character or personality. And if you feel that I am, then I would suggest, just don't watch me, like, just don't watch me, if you feel that I'm trying to do that to you, because I guarantee you that I'm not. But, talking about, criminals constantly being punished kind of got me a little, kind of like, yeah, I guess I should mention that, And I guess I should mention this too. That way, at least, if something ever occurs and I don't get my video up, you might know why. For the few subscribers that I do have, And, so, and I'm not a doctor, so we'll just leave it at that, But, I have, I have health, just like everybody else does, and people have good health and bad health. And I come from a family that has some pretty shitty health. My dad actually had a heart attack in May. and he's 58. So 57, had a heart attack, just turned 58. And my grandmother has had very, very, quite a few, but she's still alive. So, and she hasn't went to the doctor for most of them either. It's just she had to go to the doctor, and then they're like, do you realize you've had this many strokes? And she's on blood pressure medicine. And then when I've went to the doctor, they're like, when I have over the years, occasionally, because of, and that's the thing too, that I'm having to, and the person made a comment about my ankle. You get a cast for it. Yeah, you get a cast for it when you have the money to get the cast for it, when you have a way to the doctor. I can't guarantee that I have a way to the doctor, and I'm having to overcome my own stuff because I tried to go to the doctor. I tried to get my parents to take me. If you look back, you'll see how I talk about my parents and our relationship and how dysfunctional it was, and they wouldn't take me. And I've been hardwired to believe that they were the only ones that would ever care for me and help me, because that's what they were hardwired, and it's rewiring that in my mind, and realizing that people are not as bad or inherently bad as my family has always said that they are. And even though I've always believed that people are inherently good, and everything or whatever, for as far as my feelings, again, we're back to me explaining my feeling side to a SJ, type situation. And so my parents probably, aren't anything like me on that. And then that might be another reason that, you kind of get scapegoated, and I think I even looked that up, that yes, INFPs, I'm going to have to look more into that, like if I choose to talk about that, to be certain, but I think we are seen as like the scapegoated, But, so anyways, I'm sitting here, I posted my video yesterday, and yes, I labeled it the way that I did, because I was like, God, and that's kind of, well, that's what I talked about, and then atheism, and then sin, and all this, and I labeled it based upon what I talked about. And I thought, it might actually get some, views, and that way it's like, not money-wise or anything like that. I've not received a penny, and I'm not even worried about that. I mean, I'm worried about money, but not on this aspect, like, let me be YouTube and make money. I'm more worried about, shit, I gotta get a job. I gotta go back to work, but then I'm like, right now, like, I'm good right now, I'm okay. But, anyways, so I'm sitting here, and like I said, previously or whatever, sorry, I'm just feeling like maybe I should trash this whole video, but I hate to do that. I hate to do that, so I'm not going to, because I hate not putting up and not being real, and we need to be okay with being flawed, because being flawed is part of us being human, and, and whatever, but, and then even at that, I know some people disagree with that, and they'll be like, no, you're supposed to go out and be perfect. And then in the Bible, it does state that you are supposed to get up and you are practically supposed to act like everything's okay all the time. And so that's what I'm kind of in the process of retraining myself to do. And then the very first few days, I get this comment, and I was just like, okay, devil's trying to kick me back down in the hole, if you will. Make sure I stay there, But, and again, that's my perception, and my feelings. So I'm sitting here last night, and I can't be as noisy, as I would during the day, even though I don't even enjoy noisiness, and I hate that I live so close to a busy road, and I hate that our floors are laminate and that you can't mop them, even though, you really, really, or if you're me, you really, really, really want to so bad. And then you do, and I don't know. And then the dog's nails, it's like nails on a freaking chalkboard to my ears sometimes. And I'm just like, ah! And I honestly thought yesterday, I wonder if I can put socks on them so that way I don't hear click, 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 every time they walk, And I thought, but they'll just pull them off. It won't do any good, And then not only will it not do any good, it'll be more laundry for me. But, that's the reason I like carpet. And plus carpet, you can buy a carpet cleaner. You can clean it with the carpet cleaner, and it smells so good. I mean, you got to know how to use a carpet cleaner. You've got to use it the way that the instructions say. You've got to leave it. You've got to change the water. You've got to change it until it's clean and clear. But carpet, I grew up with carpet. I love carpet. I'm a carpet person. But, anyways, back to yesterday, sitting here, reading that comment, pondering what to do on it, and then the upset and the anger and the sadness and all the emotions that came from reading that, and then, trying to step outside and be like, how does this person feel? And obviously they feel offended, like that's the first thing you get from them is just full on offense, like at your battle stations, like, like stand your ground, and I was like, damn, but, after that, the part that they put about what they know, and everything, I was like, I don't just want to trash that because, and they took the time to write this long comment, and put all this information, but I was like, but I've got to do what's best for me and for them, and them attacking me at the beginning of it, and it making me feel like that, I don't need to see this for the rest of my life. And neither do other people that might come across it, And so it's like standing up for myself and having respect for myself. And also having respect for this person because they could have, it could have reached a point where somebody could have attacked them back for it. And it would have just, been tit for tat. And I'm not about that. So anyways, back to sitting here last night. So I'm done, thrown off is the best way to put it, by that comment. And I'm just like praying, and talking to God, if you will, and like, God, help me let it go, and help me to think on it, and help me to study more on it, and help me to educate myself more on it, and this and that and everything. And I'm trying and I'm pushing and, and everything like that. And, so then, like I said, I read like 5 different articles, and then I was like, okay, but don't just jump and do what they say. Kind of ponder and think about it, and make sure that it's something that resonates with my soul. And then I watched this other video that it's called The Sacred Master Key, and it's a long ass video. I got through it years ago. Like that's how long this video's been up, and that's how long ago I watched it or whatever. And it took me forever to get through it then because I feel so relaxed when I listen to it. And or I don't all the time, but I did then. And I stumbled back across it whenever I set up this YouTube, because I had a YouTube when I was younger. I honestly don't know if it was even up under my name. I don't know if I put comments. I think I did, but I can't remember because I've had a child since then. My life has not been on YouTube, and I had Goo Goo Gaga and dirty diapers and chasing you around and trying to get you to change your shirt, and like you got drool and this and that, and and then will you play with me and the Barbie dolls and the coloring books and stay in the lines, and this is how I do it, if you want to do it like me, and then the the boo-boos and the bicycle wrecks, and I mean life goes on, and that sucks to a degree when you battle things that you kind of wish sometimes you're like, oh, but then it's inherently, for the most part or whatever, it's good. It's good that life goes on. And it's good that it continues, even though sometimes it seems like it's not, and it's usually whenever it comes to loss. So I'm sitting here and I do all that, and then I'm sitting here and I'm bored, like I said, and I'm trying to be quiet, so I'm like, okay, I'll stay on my phone and just, do this and do that. My child's father, he hasn't posted anything to his Facebook, I've noticed, because I've looked at his Facebook in the past 3 months, maybe anywhere from 5 to 7 times, and I noticed he hadn't posted anything in a while, and I thought, oh, he's probably, just got him another Facebook, or don't care about Facebook right now, because he kind of has done that sometimes before, at least for as far as I'm concerned and my perception of him. So I didn't think anything of it. Well, me and him, we don't talk, we don't communicate, we don't necessarily get along and stuff like that. And so I was like, but I wonder, because he's served time, and he was only clean for 10 months in December of last year. And so I was like, please, say it ain't so, if you will. And so I typed in his name, and he got arrested. And when he got arrested was in October. And I was just like, wait, October, wait, the end of October, wait, didn't I quit my job the end of October? Wait, isn't that when my GM came in, bit my head off, and then a few days later I quit, And isn't that when the manager, was kind of snickering when the GM was biting my head off? And the manager, came and seen me the day after I quit, and then she said she'd see me again later, and she never did, and she never contacted me. And when I contacted her about, hey, when are we going to hang out, thinking we're friends, and this and that, and she never contacted me. And so I was just like, well, because what's the saying? There's no use in crying over spilt milk, supposedly. And I was just like, who's my friends and who's my not? And that's another thing, too, is like, y'all take that as such an attack, and so do we. SJs, like if my manager was to watch this and come across this video, she might be like, oh, you think I don't care? You think I did all that because I didn't care? I did care, but sorry, I'm busy with things. Because like I said, y'all are in such dilatory, just, I got shit to do, I got to get it done, and whatever. Where we're in the feelings and in the emotions, and so when we, hey, what you been up to, and you don't respond to that, it comes across like a door being slammed in our face, and you saying, nope, never cared about you, don't want to be your friend, don't like you, trying to get ahead in life. And that's another thing, too, like about the SJ, is just trying to get the shit done, and it don't matter, just like running over the toe, or whatever, of an employee, per se, as an example. Y'all are like, don't care about their feelings, don't have time to. It's like Speedy Gonzales or something. It's like, it's like the love-hate of Tom and Jerry and the Roadrunner and the Coyote, and all that and everything. And, you got the one that speeds through things and just gets the shit done, and then you got the one that kind of feels, and everything. But anyways, and you can make it work, but both parties have to be willing. And for the most part, instead of y'all being willing to make it work and look into making things work, and communicate with us, we're the ones having to look and communicate with y'all. And that's the thing, too, that even in the video I watched or whatever, this guy, he's like, y'all need to figure out how to communicate with the SJ world, and y'all have got to figure out how to articulate in that way, and, instead of speaking on, this is how I feel, instead speak on facts. And that's the thing, too, that the person put in the comment. They're like, oh, I have the facts, And, if I wanted to be mean, I could, If I cared to be mean, I could. And this person cared to be mean because being mean is a sacrifice, or rude is a sacrifice they are willing to make just so they get ahead, And it's not with me, it's who I am, But, anyways, back to looking up my kid's dad, found out he was locked up. And then, like I said, thinking back to when I quit my job and everything, and then the girl that I did fall in love with, and she came over to the store where I was working, and I had not seen her in months. And we had went practically like no contact. I mean, I was trying to contact her, but she was ignoring me. And she was putting up stuff about, like directed towards me for as far as I'm concerned, that's like, oh, I hate you, And so I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So I'm going on with my life as best as I can, but I'm still contacting her on occasion and being like, can we talk about this? Can we please just talk about this? And, instead her response is, I hate you, what she's probably SJ, And, yeah, I said that with a little bit, because I get mad, I get ticked off, but I try to not, because I genuinely wish we lived in a world where, it was all peace and sunshine and rainbows and all that, but I know it's not. But if I can try to put that out there, then I'm going to try to put that out there, and if you want to put out, fuck it, and do the work, and get your ass up and just go, then you can put that out too. And can we decide to not butt heads and be mean to each other in the process of that? I mean, I'm done the minority, you're done the majority, so statistically numbers win, right? So why attack? And it's all everything's just all dealing with fear. But anyway, so I found out that, he got arrested, and then I looked up, and the thing is she came to the store after he got arrested. So whether she came because she cared about me, and she's like, oh, that's her baby daddy, and I hope she's okay, let's go check on her, or whether it was more of the lines of, the only reason she ever even talked to me and got involved in my life was a manipulation on his part, and that's what went through my head, because I puzzle things together in the way that I do, and so on and so forth and everything. And then there's even, right now there is one friend that I have on my Facebook that I'm like, and I worry about every friend that I make, because most friends that I do make, because we are in a SJ world, are SJs, and y'all have that I don't give a shit about your feelings and I got stuff to do attitude. And that really sucks for a person like me that's like, I care about everybody's feelings. And what's your feelings? And I go out of my way to be like, are you okay? And I take into account, your facial cues and stuff. And I try to not overstep my bounds and stuff like that. And, anyways, I'm running on my time right here. I was going to say something else, but I'll leave it out. But, so last night, after I found that out, and I found out he got arrested, and then it was like, oh my God, that's the only reason she ever even talked to me, is because something dealing with him. And then I was like, oh God, please don't tell me that she's in love with him, and it was all, or it was something, dealing with him to try to bring me down, because that's the thing too, is like, SJs, y'all are so military, like in your way of thinking and everything. It's like, here's the target, and how are we going to bring it down? And so that happens, in my opinion, to a lot of us that are INFPs, or whatever, is because y'all are like, they're not agreeing and going along and doing what we say, therefore they must be bad, therefore we must, destroy, and it's like, what the fuck have I done to you, You know, like, what the fuck have I done to you, you know, for you to be on that, you know, destroy mode and everything, you know? And I don't get it. Sorry, I kind of got sidetracked looking at my arms. I was like, fat arms. And then I was like, muscle, you know, what muscle I do have. But, anyways, um, see, it's just my mind, you know, the way that it's wired to pick up on the things that it's created to pick up on, you know. But, anyways, so I ended up crying, is the best way to word it. And then, anytime you hold in any type of thing, anger, sadness, and you don't let it out, and you don't internalize it well, I guess is the best way to put it, or in a way that, you know, is healthy, and you don't put it out in a way that is healthy and everything, then it affects your health. And so last night, I'm not even gonna lie, my arm and my chest started hurting so bad, and I come within a hair of calling the paramedics, you know, or an ambulance or whatever to come and get me. But I was like, no, because that's stupid. And then I didn't even call to, you know, all else failed. I didn't have nobody to take me other than my parents. My parents didn't give a shit to take me about my busted ankle. So I didn't hit up nobody else. And that's another thing too, is how we go about asking for help instead of being like, hey, you know, can you take me? That dilatory, you know, I need to go here. Can you take me? It takes a lot for me to be able to say that, you know, I need to go here, can you take me? Because I'm all in the feelings, and so I'm more like, hey, what are you doing today? Are you going anywhere, you know, type situation versus I need to, you know. And so it kind of fucks up a lot of shit on my end, because there's a lot of things that I've missed out on because I'm all in my feelings. And so I'm like, you know, do you feel like, or can you, or do you mind, or are you headed that way, or what are you up to today? And so I never had anybody else to understand, and my family didn't even understand that about me. You know, I call up my mom and be like, what are you up to today? And she'd just give me a list of like 90 things that she was doing, if you will, which granted it wasn't 90, but she'd give me a list of 3 things, and I just thought, oh, she's busy. You know, she's got to do the dishes, she's got to do the laundry, and she's got to do this. So I won't even ask her. And then I would just end up listening to her talk about my dad and my sister and my family. And then I'd just be like, okay, well, I'm going to let you go. And then I would just sit here and be like, well, shit, that just fucked up my whole damn day. I don't get to go where I needed to go. You know, and then it's like, well, what do I do? Okay, do something around the house. But, it's like, that personal attack made on, you know, your ankle and a cast. I mean, that was very personal. So this is somebody that else knows me in real life or has watched a bunch of my videos, and they just think I'm full of shit, you know. And if they do, or at least that's my perception of their perception of me. And granted, I could be wrong, you know. But if they think that I'm full of shit, then you are more than welcome to think that I am full of shit. But can you do it in your own corner, just like, you know? And that's the thing too. If you're gonna sit there and be like, yeah, I think you're full of shit, you know, and cross your arms and, you know, your head, even though we come across as naive and stuff, and that's another thing too about my personality type, we also have the, just because we're not dilatory in our ways, we have the fight in us, just like, you know, everybody does, fight or flight, you know, and the attitudes and, you know, and all this and everything. But it's just, we're more sensitive, you know, and we're more, you know, sunshine and rainbows and peace, you know, and what do you want, you know, and world peace, you know, and all that, you know, like. And what is it, Miss Congeniality at the end, where she's like, you know, she's like, I really do want world peace, you know, and she's crying and everything. And that's just, that's who we are. And I'm not saying that SJs or other people don't want that, but I'm saying that you, because like I said, you know, I watched this video and it's like, oh, I gotta kiss their ass and I gotta word it their way so that way they can get it. Well, why does nobody ever have to word things a way that I can get it? And so I do appreciate, God, I appreciate so much the people that do put out, you know, the videos talking about the INFP. Like, love y'all. Like, seriously, like, love y'all, and everything, because y'all are talking on my terms. And I'm so appreciative of that, because I'm so used to not being talked to on my terms and being disregarded and stuff. But I'm at an hour, and so anyways, I'm gonna end this here, and I wish everybody the best, and I hope you're having a good day. And you can, hit a like, or hit the like button, or drop a comment, and everything. And, depending on your comment, we'll go from there. If you need somebody to talk to, you can hit me up on my Facebook Messenger or on here, and I will talk to you. And other than that, I hope you have a great day, and I hope you stay blessed and stay safe, and, everybody has a good holiday season, because I know it's December, even though I doubt I'm going to put up a tree or anything like that. And I will catch you later. And so, yeah, see you.